How far did a leper have to stay away from a healthy person? The answer is 50 yards. And the reason why I bring this up is because in the upcoming Sunday Gospel, these 10 lepers approach Jesus, but from a distance they cry out, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." And so Jesus, about 50 yards away, has to cry out, "Go show yourselves to the priests." And you know the story. These 10 lepers go off, and along the way they realize they've been cleansed. But only one of them returns to give thanks to God. Only one of them got to see Jesus up close. Only one of them got to hear Jesus say, "Go, your faith has saved you." So what we need to ask ourselves is, how often do I thank God? Oftentimes we might ask people to pray for us, or we might make specific requests to God, like to ask God to help us with a job interview, or to heal us of a sickness, or to alleviate a financial difficulty. But when's the last time that we asked someone to say a prayer of thanksgiving for us? How we asked someone, "Can you pray in thanksgiving that I got this job? Can you pray in thanksgiving that my friend is coming back to church?" Because our lives are meant to be a living thanks. So perhaps one way for us to begin to do this is to thank God at the end of Mass. So often it's easy for us when Mass ends to immediately leave and book it to the exit. But what if we spent at least 1 minute after Mass thanking God for the great blessings that we received at Mass? Because so often, as we rush to the exits, we spill the grace that we received at Mass and we run on empty. Or what if we thank God for the ways He's been working in our lives? Perhaps there's a certain skill or talent He's blessed you with that reflects His glory. Perhaps in the past there was some sin that you dealt with that took years or even decades to overcome. But through God's grace, you began to overcome that sin or that struggle. Or perhaps there's a time in your life where you felt really stressed out, and all of a sudden, it went away because God took care of it. And maybe we've thanked God in the past, but to continue to thank God for this repeatedly helps us to realize how dependent we are upon God and how appreciative we should be to Him. And maybe we feel, well, maybe God hasn't done a lot of good things for me. I have a lot of problems. So what we can do is take a sheet of paper, and on one side of the paper, write down all the problems that we have. But then on the back side of the paper, write down the blessings. Because when we take the time to realize the blessings, we'll realize that they outweigh the problems. And even if they don't seem they do, we're going to realize how God is still present with us and how there's so much that we've overlooked thanking Him for. So when we start to do that, we'll realize that for every negative aspect, there's a positive aspect to be thankful for. So we can then truly then live our lives in the very last words we say at Mass. Thanks be to God.